Hello, beautiful beings with amazing bodies. Welcome to my channel. My name is Burcu Bey. I live in Istanbul, Turkey, and I'm facilitating myself and consciousness since 12 years now. Oh my God, how did I get so lucky? I like to start with this amazing book written by Gary M. Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, and Dr. Dain Heer, co-creator of Access Consciousness for 25 years. This book has a very interesting chapter. Maybe this is the first time you are hearing that word. It's the page 69, chapter 14. It's proprioception. Wow. Let's start with this. Proprioception is the body's natural state of awareness. It's the body's awareness of itself in space and time. A cell with its true proprioception will be in its own spherical universe. Cells can come out of proprioception when they intersect with negative thoughts, feelings, or emotions. When a cell has been altered by thoughts, feelings, or emotions, or by chemicals, it loses its proprioception, changes its shape, and becomes elliptical. It is as if an arrow goes through the cell and elongates it. Scientists now believe this alteration of its shape is the beginning of disease. What do drugs and chemicals do? When people reach a certain stage of discomfort or disease, they oftentimes turn to drugs for relief because drugs seem to make the body feel better. The drug creates changes in the way the body functions and starts to create a different proprioception of the cellular structure. It becomes necessary to keep talking the drugs in order to create the false proprioception. The drug is not really making the body well, it's altering the chemical structure of the body. Once a drug is taken, it creates a chemical imprint in the body. Any drug, prescription or otherwise, creates a chemical imprint in the body. The body then begins to think that it needs the drug or that it needs to alter itself to respond to the drug, or that it has to alter itself in order to get rid of the drug. And it maintains the cellular structure that has been altered by the drug. It's not necessarily a state of health that the body is in. Instead, the drug has established an altered state in the body, and the body requires continued use of the chemical in order to maintain its altered state. This is actually a false proprioception. The body thinks it is in a physical or chemical state other than the state it's actually in. It is as if the body is reading a map. When it wants to change something, it looks at the map and says, oh, we are in the state of Texas and we want to get to California. That's the path. Because the drug or chemical, the body thinks it's in Texas when it's actually in New York. It needs to take a totally different path to get to California, but it doesn't know that. As a result, the body produces chemicals that are totally different from the ones required to produce the desired result. That's the difficulty with using drugs and any kind of or giving them to your animal. They alter the chemical makeup of the body. I once sold a lady a horse, and the horse later damaged its eye. She put the horse on steroids and massive amounts of antibiotics, which created all kinds of alterations in its body. The horse lost weight, and its beautiful coat became dull and fuzzy. All of her hairs developed split ends, which a horse should never have. I couldn't believe the condition she was in when I saw her. This horse's coat had been so smooth and beautiful that in the winter she looked like she had a summer coat. I told the woman the horse was not in the right shape and she needed to put her on probiotics and do immune system work on her. Were all those drugs necessary to help the horse recover from the eye condition? Maybe. I might have done it differently. The first thing I would have done is ask the horse what she needed. Animals know what they need. It's amazing the things you can find out when you ask them. This is the first time I'm reading a book in English. This is the specialty of the Access Consciousness. Talk to the animals, and an extraordinary conversation, like Gary Douglas said. There are a lot of chapters I like to read, but the first chapter, chapter 19, molecular demanifestation and demolecular manifestation. Demolecular manifestation makes things appear. 95th page, chapter 19. Demolecular manifestation has to do with creating or making things appear. You talk to the molecules and ask them to become something else. This sounds pretty magical, but it has probably happened to you. Have you ever lost something, it disappeared from your life, and you wanted it to come back, and it did? You demolecularly manifested it back into existence. Demolecular manifestation is creation. We use it with animals or people to ask their cellular structure to change so it becomes healthful. Molecular demanifestation makes things disappear. When you want something to disappear or go away, you molecularly demanifest it. In other words, you ask the molecules to change their structure so they become something else. Molecular demanifestation is where you change the molecular structure of something so it ceases to exist. Doing molecular demanifestation causes things like tumors, arthritis, and calcium deposits to disintegrate and go away. When demolecular manifestation is done on animals with conditions like bone splints or arthritis, it can have some pretty amazing results. We did molecular demanifestation on a 28-year-old mare that was lame due to a condition called rig bone, a bony growth that occurs on the foot just above the hoof. This process raises the excess bone. With hands on the area, you just say molecularly demanifest, right, wrong, good, bad, POD and POC, O100, shorts, boys, poets, creations, bases and beyonds. And this is the access consciousness clearing statement. You can find out more about this www.accessconsciousness.com, the clearing statement. And once you get the process started, it will continue to run. You will probably have to do demolecular manifestation a number of times to get the horse to the point where the ring bone goes away totally. But with some horses, doing the process once is all it takes is to start to reverse a condition, and they will get better continuously. When the vet says your horse has ring bone, everybody thinks that's it, my horse is going to be lame permanently. That kind of projection or expectation causes a lot of problems because it creates or solidifies the condition. When you are working with an animal that has something like ring bone, you may also want to remove the projections and expectations that have been placed on it before you run demolecular manifestation, so the animal can recognize that it has another choice and can choose to reverse the condition. Some horses, however, just like some people, will choose not to get over their conditions, illness and disabilities. Sometimes horses decide they do not want to be ridden, and they can develop conditions like ring bone to keep lameness in place. You could try asking the horse, would it change your mind if we rode you a particular way that is fitting for you? Or would you be able to get over your condition if you had the owner you desired? A lot of times when horses don't want to be someplace or they don't want to be owned by someone, they will develop a physical condition so the person will get rid of them. The problem is that owners love their horses so much they can't get rid of them. It's about how they own the horse, not about the horse having any choice. A lot of people buy a horse and hold on to it. It goes lame because it doesn't want to be with them. And then they just keep the horse out in the pasture waiting until it dies. A horse should actually have choice about whom it wants to belong to. In circumstances like this, it might be a good idea to ask a horse, is there a different choice you would like to make? Or you can try to work on it from the owner's side with a question like, can we discern and create the owner's point of view that they have to hold on to this horse forever? Doing molecular demanifestation. We did molecular demanifestation on Fantasia, an alpha mare who had arthritis in her knees. I put the energy of molecular demanifestation into the hands of 2 workshop participants and asked them to do it on everything that didn't belong in Fantasia's knees, as well as anything else in her body that didn't belong there and kept her body from being supple. One of the women asked if she was supposed to think about the bump on Fantasia's knee while she was doing the process. I said, just keep your hand on that bump on her knee and ask for everything in there that's not supposed to be there. Put your attention on moving everything that doesn't feel right in her body. I could see that Fantasia liked what she was doing and what was going to try to help her. After we did molecular demanifestation, I showed class participants the energy of demolecularly manifesting a generative, healthful cellular structure, and I asked them to work on Fantasia's knees with both hands to help her manifest healthy knees. Fantasia's trainer said she would never seen her stand still for that long. She said, I bred her and she's always been anxious and pushy. One of the great things about this work is that it creates a peace within the horse. Fantasia, who was ordinarily anxious and on guard, looked like she was thinking, oh my God, I could just lie down and go to sleep now. And there's that chapter 20, chemical and electromagnetic imprinting. Chemical imprinting. We have discovered that the body can imprint it by chemicals and drugs. Taking massive amounts of drugs, for example, can imprint the system with a particular energy. This came up with our 94-year-old friend Mary. She had been taking drugs to counteract a heart condition, but it seemed like the drugs were making her worse rather than better. I asked, what the hell is this? And it's registered as chemical imprinting. Mary had been overdosed with a drug to the point that it was having the opposite of the desired effect on her body. My sense is that perhaps when we get too much of a chemical instead of having the desired effect, we actually get the opposite of the intended result. I think that's what was happening with Mary. The drug imprinted a pattern on the energy of her being and body in such a way that she was unable to change certain elements, organs and structures of the body and return them to their proper function. I ran a process to do with chemical imprinting and it had quite a dramatic result on her body. And she ended up looking and feeling a whole lot better. Chemical imprinting can occur with cigarette smoke, alcohol, drugs, and of any kind of even surgery. Our food can also create an imprinting on our bodies. Eating certain foods can set up a necessity for more of them. Horses are often chemically imprinted with drugs like butazolidine, which is like horse aspirin, or with ACE, a horse tranquilizer. To turn chemical imprinting on an animal, simply ask, does this animal have any chemical imprinting? And if so, run the clearing statement on it. The clearing statement, like I said, right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POG, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, creations, bases and beyonds. Electromagnetic imprinting. Electromagnetic imprinting, which we have also referred to as magnetic imprinting, occurs when a being occupies a body. You as a being come into a body and you have an electrical charge that you bring with you. When you get into the body, a magnetism that solidifies the molecular structure of the body is created. The electromagnetics lock you into the body from that you have. When another being is in the body as well, it creates a conflict between the two electromagnetic systems. Whenever you clear an entity from a body, you will also want to get rid of the electromagnetic imprinting it left behind, because it messes up the being's ability to form a connection with its body. It can also create interference that doesn't allow bodies to heal. Electromagnetic imprinting can be cleared by saying all the electromagnetic imprinting created by the other being along with the clearing statement. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and poke, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, creations, spaces and beyonds. Thank you for listening to me. Please remember, like and follow my channel, and I will be with you with another books. Just I will let you see it. Magic, You Are It, Be It, Gary M. Douglas and Dr. Dain Heer. Body Whispering, Dr. Dain Heer. Lady, Gary M. Douglas. Embodiment, Dr. Dain Heer. And I know this is in Turkish, and I will read it from the English version. The Baby Unicorn Manifest, Dr. Dain Heer and amazing Katerina Valentin. Yay! See you all soon. Please remember to follow and like. Bye bye.